Bhagavad Gita as it is, Chapter 8, Text 10. Prayana kale manasa chalena bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva bhruvor madhye pranamaveshya samyak satam param purusham upaiti divyam. Synonyms: Prayana kale, at the time of death; manasa, by the mind; achalena, without being deviated; bhaktya, in full devotion; yuktaha, engaged; yoga balena, by the power of mystic yoga; cha, also; eva, certainly; bhruvoho, between the two eyebrows; madhye, in; pranam, the life air; aveshya, establishing; samyak, completely; saha, he; tam, that; param, transcendental; purusham, personality of Godhead; upaiti, achieves; divyam, in the spiritual kingdom. Translation: One who at the time of death fixes his life air between the eyebrows and in full devotion engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord will certainly attain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. In this verse, it is clearly stated that at the time of death, the mind must be fixed in devotion on the Supreme Godhead. For those practiced in yoga, it is recommended that they raise the life force between the eyebrows, but for a pure devotee who does not practice such yoga, the mind should always be engaged in Krishna consciousness so that at death he can remember the Supreme by His grace. This is explained in verse 14. The particular use of the word yoga balena is significant in this verse because without practice of yoga, one cannot come to this transcendental state of being at the time of death. One cannot suddenly remember the Supreme Lord at death unless he is practiced in some yoga system, especially the system of Bhakti Yoga. Since one's mind at death is very disturbed, one should practice transcendence through yoga during one's life. Text 11. Yadaksharam veda vido vadanti vishanti yadyatayo vitaragaha yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti tat te padam sangrahena pravakshe. Synonyms: Yat, that which; Aksharam, inexhaustible; Veda vidaha, a person conversant with the Vedas; Vadanti, say; Vishanti, enters; Yat, in which; Yatayaha, great sages; Vitaragaha, in the renounced order of life; Yat, that which; Icchantaha, desiring; Brahmacharyam, celibacy; Charanti, practices; Tat, that; Te, unto you; Padam, situation; Sangrahena, in summary; Pravakshe, I shall explain. Translation: Persons learned in the Vedas who utter Omkara and who are great sages in the renounced order enter into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation. Purport. Lord Krishna explains that Brahman, although one without a second, has different manifestations and features. For the impersonalists, the syllable Om is identical with Brahman. Krishna here explains the impersonal Brahman in which the renounced order of sages enter. In the Vedic system of knowledge, students from the very beginning are taught to vibrate Om and learn of the ultimate impersonal Brahman by living with the spiritual master in complete celibacy. In this way, they realize two of Brahman's features. This practice is very essential for the student's advancement in spiritual life. But at the moment, such brahmachari, unmarried celibate life is not at all possible. The social construction of the world has changed so much that there is no possibility of one's practicing celibacy from the beginning of student life. Throughout the world, there are many institutions for different departments of knowledge, but there is no recognized institution where students can be educated in the brahmachari principles. Unless one practices celibacy, advancement in spiritual life is very difficult. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya has announced, according to the scriptural injunctions for this age of Kali, that no process of realizing the Supreme is possible except the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Text 12. Sarvadvarani samyamya mano hridi nirudya cha Murdhnyadhayatmanaha pranam astito yoga dharanam. Synonyms. Sarvadvarani, all the doors of the body. Samyamya, controlling. Manaha, mind. Hridi, in the heart. Nirudya, confined. Cha, also. Murdhni, on the head. Adhaya, fixed. Atmanaha, soul. Pranam, the life air. Astitaha, situated. Yogadharanam, the yogic situation. Translation. The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of the senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the life air at the top of the head. One establishes himself in yoga. Purport. To practice yoga as suggested here, one first has to close the door of all sense enjoyment. This practice is called pratyahara, or withdrawing the senses from the sense objects. Sense organs for acquiring knowledge, such as the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and touch, should be fully controlled and should not be allowed to engage in self-gratification. In this way, the mind focuses on the Supersoul in the heart and the life force is raised to the top of the head. In the 6th chapter, this process is described in detail. But as mentioned before, this practice is not practical in this age. The best process is Krishna consciousness. If one is always able to fix his mind on Krishna in devotional service, it is very easy for him to remain in an undisturbed transcendental trance or in samadhi.